I'm going to be giving you information on the Southside Early College High School program. So in a nutshell, the Early College High School is a partnership between Palo Alto College and Southside ISD. As a parent, you play a vital role in your child's success. So our goal is to help you and your student navigate through the college process. So here's the overview on the ECHS. So basically, students can earn up to 60 college credit hours, which is dual credit, and meet high school graduation requirements within the 4 years. Part of this program includes the fact that all tuition, fees, and books are free. In order to qualify for dual credit, students must meet certain TSI requirements. And lastly, the program is designed to target students who are at risk and students whom historically are underrepresented in college courses. For example, first-generation college goers, students of low socioeconomic status, and minorities. Southside ECHS expectations. Students will make a 4-year commitment to successfully complete college courses. So part of this commitment involves students taking pre-AP and AP courses for all 4 years. Students will meet high school and test requirements towards graduation. Students will actively participate in class discussions and activities, work cooperatively with students and teachers, and students will be prepared for class by completing assigned reading and homework prior to class. Students will also meet attendance, behavior, and credit requirements as expected of all Southside ISD students. And basically, students will do their best. We do expect better things and a different level of expectations for these students since they are in the early college high school program. Here's a sample of their 9th grade schedule. So again, you'll see the first 4 classes are the core classes, pre-AP for English, algebra, or geometry, depending on what math they take in 8th grade, world geography, biology. The 5th class is the Pathway College and Career class that prepares them for their first dual credit class in the spring. They will also participate in AVID. Their 7th class is PE, athletics, cheer, ROTC, or band. And lastly, they have an elective choice. Qualifying for courses. I mentioned earlier students needing to successfully have a good score on the TSI. So every student must take the TSI, which is a Texas Success Initiative exam. There is no limit on the amount of attempts. It is not a time test, and it determines course placement. Currently, because of the current COVID situation, we are not testing TSI just yet. So currently, Palo Alto College is using something called multiple measures to determine qualifications. So they're using things like grades and STAR scores. Advising. Part of our partnership with Palo Alto College is that they provide a college advisor, which every student will be assigned that advisor. Advising sessions take place once a semester. They talk about their ACES account, their student email, academic progress, student resources, degree planning and tracking, and then college university exploration. Other resources that Palo Alto College provides are tutoring services. They have an Ozuna Learning Center, which is a state-of-the-art library, individual study rooms, and an academic learning studio. There is also disability support services where students must self-identify in order to let them know that they need additional support. Also, they are college students, so they get to participate in student life, which includes student clubs and organizations, campus events, and there is a calendar of events posted as well. Solid academic skills. Here, we've listed some traits to being a successful college student. Attending tutoring, asking for help, time management, determination, focus, priorities, flexibility, communication, and engagement. And I went ahead and highlighted 2 of these. I think the 2 highlighted areas are probably the most important. They need to have their time management skills, which involves organization, and then communication. Oftentimes, the professors, once they're taking the dual credit classes, they want communication in a certain format through their Canvas account or their ACES email. So communication is key. FERPA, basically, since they are college students, in order for parents to communicate with professors, they would need to fill out a FERPA form in order to give them access to that. I mentioned AVID as part of one of their classes as freshmen and moving forward throughout the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade as well. So basically, AVID is a program that we use, which is their mission is to close the achievement gap by preparing all students for college readiness and success in a global society. So AVID and the early college program go hand in hand. So please join us. Again, this process begins in the 8th grade. I will provide parent presentations and applications in the fall of their 8th grade year. Again, my name is Arturo Cano, and thank you for joining us.
Next, for helping your child learn to read, we have some teachers from Menchaca Elementary. Thank you, Menchaca, for pitching in to help us with this lesson.
Hi, everybody. My name is Amber Jimenez, and I am a kindergarten teacher at Menchaca Early Childhood Center. This is my 4th year teaching kindergarten. I have also previously taught 1st grade, and this is actually my 1st year with Southside, and I am super excited to become part of the Southside community. I am originally from Floresville, Texas, which is about 35 minutes south of San Antonio. I graduated from Texas Tech University in 2015. And this is a picture of my family. This is my fiance, Joey, and my 2 bonus daughters, Aubrey and Abby, who I love spending time with when I have free time. So I'm going to be talking to you tonight about how to begin preparing your child to read. So why do we read? Reading books aloud to children helps stimulate their imagination, and it helps expand their understanding of the outside world that they live in. So reading helps them develop language and listening skills, which for our younger babies, that is super important. It also helps prepare them to understand written words. When the rhythm and melody of language becomes a part of your child's life, learning to read will be as natural as learning to walk and talk. So here are a couple of reasons to begin reading to your child. So children who are read to consistently by their parents often begin reading earlier than their peers. It's also a great bonding time at home. And I know during this time especially, there's really not much to do. So this is a great time to start reading with your child at home. Also, reading to your children gives you an inside look at what they're truly interested in. It helps them to develop that love for reading. I can remember my mom reading to me when I was younger, and to this day, I love reading. I love teaching reading. So that really helped me foster that love for reading. Also, it really helps build their imagination and their vocabulary. So here are some different ways to read. You can read on your tummies at home, reading individually. So teaching your child how to read independently. Go snuggle up in the corner, grab a book and a blanket, and look at the pictures. What do you think is happening? So they can read independently. Also in the car, when you're on the way to grandma's house, asking them, what kind of signs do you see? What do you think that sign says? Or let's look at this billboard. What do you think that billboard says? And also, so in the classroom, I like to do what is called eek reading, which is elbow to elbow, knee to knee. I'll read to you, you read to me, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, book in the middle so we can both see. So that teaches them to sit next to each other with the book in the middle of both of them so they can both see. So environmental print helps begin the journey of reading. And what environmental print is are just things that you see in the outside world. So, pointing out words and letters that you find in your daily routine. Like I said, if you're going on a drive to grandma's house, have them look at the signs and See if they can understand what the sign says. Also, if you're at the grocery store, let's say you're walking down the cereal aisle. Okay, what cereal is that? How did you know that was that cereal? Or you're looking at toys. How do they know which toy is what toy? And also, there's Domino's Pizza on here, Walmart signs. So you just using the print that is around them to look and help foster reading. So here are some questions to ask before you begin reading. So show your child the pages of the book without looking at the text. So you're just flipping through the book, and this is what we call a picture walk. So just look through the pictures and maybe stop and ask them, oh, what do you think is happening on this page? Let's look at his face. What do you think he's feeling? Why do you think she's yelling at him? So just asking them questions about the pictures, asking them what characters do you think is going to be in the book? Do you think it's going to be about dogs? Do you think it's going to be about people, about cats, about dolphins? So using the cover of the book to help them figure out what the book is going to be about. Also parts of the book. So hand them the book and have them show you the front of the book, the back, the spine, and then open up the book and ask them, where do we start reading? So they should know we start at the front and we read all the way to the end. So we read from left to right. So we never start at the end. We always have to start at the front of our sentence, at the beginning of our sentence. And I know I always like to have fun with my kids. I'll flip the book upside down. I'm like, is this how we read a book? No, you have it upside down. So just making sure that they know how to hold and where to start reading books. So here are some questions to ask while you're reading. So before you even read the sentence, asking them, well, what do you think is happening on this page? How do you think the character felt when this happened to them? What would you have done if you were the character in the book? How is the character the same or different from another character? So really just manipulating the characters and what's happening in the story. So these are questions to ask after reading. So now that we're done reading, did this story remind you of anything? So it really helps them to make that connection with them and the book. So a connection we could make here is you can ask them, have you ever walked across the street like Clifford did? Yes, I've walked across the street. Okay, well, that's a connection that you have with the book. Asking them what was the problem in the story? How did they fix that problem? Who were the characters in the story? What was the setting? And then having them retell the story. So tell me what happened in the beginning, the middle, and the end, and having them use their own words. I know with my students, I always tell them, if you need to use the pictures to help remind you, feel free to use the pictures to go back. And I know I love to make reading fun. So Halloween's coming up, so I usually like to go with whatever holiday's coming up. So have some ears to make it fun. Also, there's pointers here to help them track where they're reading, or even have them point out a letter. So see if you can find the letter R. Good, put your pointer underneath that letter. I have googly eyes, which I always tell them the eyes need to be looking at the text. I also have a little flashlight, which also you can have them light up the letter that you're looking for, or once they begin reading, you know, having them track what they're reading with the light. And these are all items that can be found at the Dollar Tree or the Walmart party section. Really just whatever you have to make reading fun. So children are made readers on the laps of their parents. I'm going to end with that, and just know that the love for reading really begins at home. I want to thank each of you for allowing me to foster that love of reading for your child, and I hope everyone has a great evening. Bye.
Next, we're going to have Alicia San Miguel from Laso Middle School to talk to us about how to take a DMAT quiz on your computer at home or at school. Thank you, Ms. San Miguel.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alicia San Miguel, and I'm one of the instructional coaches at Laso Middle School. and I am going to show you how to take a DMAC quiz if you are at home. So for our students, everybody is taking their quizzes right now, whether they're your weekly quiz, your unit test, any of the tests we're taking through our campus, it's through DMAC. So when you get to DMAC, you can go a couple of ways. There is a link through your Clever account. You can also just Google DMAC and it'll bring you to dmac-solutions.net. So from the screen, we're going to choose students. And then it's going to ask you for three things: your student ID, this is your 6-digit lunch number, your date of birth, and then your test ID. And that's something your teacher will give you. So I'm going to put in my student ID. It's really unique. And then my birthday. And then finally, my test ID. So I'm going to go into a science test so you can see what it looks like. So my teacher would have given me this code to make sure I knew which test to take. So it's going to pop up this way and it's going to tell you the school you're at and then ask you to select a teacher. So I need to make sure and select my science teacher specifically when I'm taking that test. It's really important that you pick the correct teacher for that test. So Mr. Garcia is my science teacher. It tells me that I can take pre-AP Science 8 is my class period. And I'm going to go in. So I need to make sure Unit 1 assessment, 8th grade science. So it's my science test. It's for a science class. All my information is correct. And then here's Mr. Garcia right here. I know this is his test. So now I can click start. So I want to answer my test questions. You will have access to your test. Usually your teacher will set that up for you either in a Google form, a Google Slides, or a PDF that you can get on their Google Classroom. So this is just your answer sheet to enter your answers. So as I'm clicking through, if for some reason I forget to submit in time, now it will time out. So if I forget to submit in time and when I leave this page, maybe I accidentally click sign out up here at the top, it's going to tell me if you sign out now, you will not be able to get back in. And so if that happens, if you accidentally get locked out, let's say we do that, it'll ask you to go log back in. And if I go back in without having my teacher unlock it, it will not let you back in. It's a one-time use. Now your teacher can unlock this. Make sure you let them know as soon as you get locked out of your test, or it will give you an error. So see right here, it's telling me student test locked, please contact your teacher for assistance. So I'm going to contact my teacher and ask them to unlock me on the Unit 1 test so that I can get back in. Now it may take your teacher a couple of minutes. Please check back with them and make sure that they have the time to unlock you, that you check back with them. And if you don't hear back right away, check it to make sure they have unlocked you, because sometimes they'll get you unlocked and they just may not be able to get back to you on it. So I'm waiting to be unlocked. Now it should work for me. So I'm back in. So our teacher will unlock me. Now I can go through and finish submitting my answers. So you should have already looked at your test, chosen your answer choices, and be ready to answer your questions so that your choices are in here and it's easy to just click through. Because like I said, it will lock you out if you take too long. So you should already know your answers before you're doing this. You'll hit review and it will tell you, I've got everything here. Now you can always go back and click edit and change it. If you leave any of these blank, when you hit review, it will tell you, warning, one item does not have a response, and it'll show you which ones it is. So always make sure you don't get that warning before you submit your answers, because we want to make sure we get everything in. Check your answers against what you've chosen. That way you know for sure that you have everything in before you hit score, because once your score is in, there is no changing it. So now I'm going to click score, and it'll actually tell me, hey, you got 6 out of 15 responses correct. Once you have that number, you can actually do the math and say, okay, 6 out of 15, what's my score? And you'll immediately know your grade. This is how you're going to get into a DMAC test. If you have any questions, please reach out to your campus. You can always reach out to me and anyone through our district. We're here to help. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for joining us for another Family Facebook Live event. Hope everyone has a good evening.